The supplies you need to make the Geo Mesh wreath are a styrofoam wreath form. This is a 16-inch. You can use an 18 or a 14. The Geo Mesh itself, which comes in many different colors, is a 21-inch vinyl material that is very durable. You can use it outside, so it's good to decorate even cemeteries or decks for weddings and parties, all that type of thing. Very easy to work with. Comes in probably 20 different colors. And then we also need to make our wreath. Since this is a white wreath form, we will need to cover our wreath with a type of inexpensive fluorosatin that will complement or match the color of Geo Mesh that we're using. So today we're going to use the pink and the pink. So to start your wreath, you need about 5 yards of the fluorosatin. We're going to start by using the U-shaped floral pins to pin that into the wreath, and then we just begin wrapping the wreath. And if it makes it easier, you can take even just a couple of yards, wrap that, and then continue with another piece. It won't make any difference. So you're going to overlap each time you go around. You'll overlap the last wrap and pull it snug and just go all the way around your wreath. Every once in a while, if you want to, you can put a floral pin just to hold it while you continue, and then continue wrapping. Another pin to end. And of course you want all your pins preferably on the back side of the wreath, so keep them all on the same side. Okay, once you finish wrapping your wreath with the fluorosatin, you're ready to add your Geo Mesh. It will take somewhere between 6 and 8 yards to create the wreath out of the 21-inch Geo Mesh. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to start, of course, with the raw edges. We'll gather them from one side to the other. And then we're going to take the U-shaped floral pins and we're going to pin that into the wreath. The one thing you don't want to do is try to get this pin to go all the way around the Geo Mesh. It's really too thick and it'll push the pin out. For that first pin, you might even want to take 2 and pin them in side by side just to secure that end. Now at this point, we're just going to grab the Geo Mesh and come back about 12 inches. You can vary that length as long as you're a little bit consistent. So if you want a ruler, you can actually measure from here to here. It should be the same each time you do this. So mine's about 12 inches. So we'll gather that and then we'll bring this backwards about 2 or 3 inches from the first pin. If I bring it closer, it'll stick out more. If I bring it further away, it'll be a little flatter. So you can play around and see which look that you like the best. This is going to be about 3 inches apart. Again, when I stick the pin in the Geo Mesh and into the wreath, I'm not going to try to straddle the whole Geo Mesh. I'm just going to stick it in the middle, which will hold most of the folds, and that's all you need to do. Sometimes you'll find yourself needing another pin. Just stick another one in there. So you're going to continue that way, coming back about 12 inches, like that. Pull it up and pin it into the wreath. Same thing each time. And you just continue till you get all the way around to the other side and add a couple pins to hold the last end. And all of your loops should be covering up your pins. You don't have to worry about the pins showing because the loops tend to cover that up. And then later we'll go back and show you some different things that you can add to the wreath to give you some different looks for different seasons. Now once we have the Geo Mesh completely covering the wreath, now it's time to do some embellishment or decorating. Just going to show you a few things that you could add to this wreath. If you wanted to, you could add butterflies, and we would probably wire those or maybe use some hot glue to glue the butterfly. You might want to add some ribbon, and you could either use Geo Mesh ribbon or you could go back and add just some regular floral ribbon. It could be added in as bows, or you could add it in and out of the loops. And we're going to show you some finished wreaths also with these ideas so you can see what that looks like finished. You might want to add some flowers to the wreath, either a grouping of flowers up here or possibly even scattered throughout the wreath. Or even maybe some greenery would look good against the dark pink wreath especially. Again, you could take it apart, or you could do a grouping at one end or one side with a bow. You can add lights to the wreath if you want, just to give it a different look. If you wanted to do a wreath on a smaller wreath form, this is only about a 12-inch wreath form. If you did it like I showed you with the dark pink in the first wreath, the loops would be too big and it would just completely cover the hole and you would no longer have a wreath look. This would also make actually a very nice centerpiece for a baby shower. You could put this in the center with a vase with flowers coming out of it, or you could decorate it with little baby booties and things for the table. But if you're going to do this wreath on a smaller form, you're going to do it the same way, but before you start, you're going to take your Geo Mesh and fold it in half. And as you work, you'll do the same thing. You'll gather it. You'll come back your 12 inches, or maybe a little bit less since you want smaller loops. But it's folded in half already, so you're going to get a smaller loop. So it would look like this if it's folded. And let me show you what it's going to look like the other way. If you don't fold it, you're going to get a much larger loop. So just by folding it first, you're able to do a smaller wreath, which would fit either on a smaller door or be the basis for a centerpiece in a table. And it won't be too large for your table, or stand up too high for some candles or anything like that you would like to put around it. This wreath is done on probably a 16-inch styrofoam wreath covered with black satin, and then the plain black Geo Mesh added, and then we've added a little bow up here at the top just to add some interest at the top, and then a welcome with a fleur-de-lis inside the wreath. We just wired that in. It started out like this, took this part off and wired it in so that it can be removed if you want to use the wreath for something else. But this would be great for the front door with the welcome sign. This is a simple wreath using the plaid Geo Mesh, and then just some of the same flowers, a couple stems or a bush of little purple flowers. We used a hot glue gun and just glued them randomly around the wreath. This Geo Mesh wreath uses the 4-inch Geo Mesh ribbon, and it's made on a grapevine wreath. For this one, we actually glue the flowers in first, in this case the geraniums and these white flowers, add a bow of ribbon and Geo Mesh, and then like I said, this is the 4-inch, so we can add ribbon going around it just by gathering and gluing as you go around the wreath. And this Geo Mesh comes in about 10 colors, so you have lots of choices there. We've actually mixed the green and the red, and then the checked gingham ribbon on this wreath. This Geo Mesh wreath is perfect for the 4th of July. It's made with the red, white, and blue striped Geo Mesh. And then we took the center, the cardboard center that comes out of the middle of the Geo Mesh, like this one. We cut it in two and painted it silver and glittered it and added some stars and some chenille stems, and we made firecrackers to go on our wreath. And then added, of course, some ribbon to finish it off.
Hi, I'm Lori from Dee's. Now that you've learned the basics of making a Geo Mesh wreath, we're going to show you a few more ideas. You can use Geo Mesh to spruce up any centerpiece, whether it's for a wedding shower or just for every day. Add a little Geo Mesh to your outdoor plants and spruce up that patio or deck. Spring has sprung and summer is around the corner, so let's get ready. Here's a great geranium wreath. On this one, we used a grapevine wreath and added Geo Mesh into it to give a fuller, beautiful look. Maybe you have a wreath from years past. Go ahead, change it up. Add a little Geo Mesh and spice it up. Everyone will think it's brand new. Whether you're having a party, a shower, or maybe you want to announce the arrival of a new little one, use Geo Mesh to mark their destination spot. Add some to your mailbox. Celebrate your 4th of July with Geo Mesh. Geo Mesh is available in a plaid, red, white, and blue, or also your red, white, and blue separates. Add some letters and celebrate. Geo Mesh is waterproof, so it's great for outdoors. It's not just for wreaths. Use it to embellish your deck, your gazebo, your arbor. It would even be great for a garden wedding. Add a little Geo Mesh to your holiday door hangers. Thanks for spending time with us today. And don't forget, everything you've seen today is available at Dee's.